Fuck You Dad.
Welcome to the Fuck You Dad podcast, everybody. We're sitting here today with hilarious Olivia Carter. Thanks for coming on.
Whoa. Thanks for having me.
What was that?
I was getting excited.
What?
Most of our guests don't get excited, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
How do most of them say, like, what
They're
do they
like,
say
all
after
right.
you say their name?
It's like a sigh into the mic.
Yeah.
They're like, all
I'm
right.
here.
I gotta stop saying yes to things.
Yeah.
I think that's...
That's really what most people do. They don't go like, yeah, well.
I don't know if
No,
people
I really wish-
applaud.
Fuck
yeah,
you,
which
Dad.
they should.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
should. They should say
People
fuck
should
you.
get nervous to be on the podcast.
You're goddamn right.
We're almost at 1,000
More like myself
subscribers.
included. But
Yeah.
I
Do you have a
know.
theme?
I've come in here pretty chillaxed.
Do you have a theme song?
We actually do. It's
We
a
do.
pretty... the listeners just got done hearing it. It's a fantastic theme song.
Yeah.
It's pretty cute.
Just go like, fuck you, Dad. Fuck you,
No,
Dad.
pretty close though. I mean,
It's like kind of like a sitcom theme song almost.
Fuck you, Dad. Fuck
yeah.
you, Dad.
My friend who's a musician really ran with it, so it's pretty dynamic.
All right, I didn't mean to murder that opener.
Didn't mean to shit all over
Didn't mean
art,
to-
but you did. What you did.
What about your dad? What is your dad like?
My dad, I love my dad. He's so weird. Like, I feel like everything about me that is obnoxious, but in like a charming way, I get it from my dad.
Okay.
Like, if I'm FaceTiming someone, I'll be like, watch this. And then I'll like sing from my room, oh, and then from downstairs, my dad will go, oh, like, he's like,
wow.
I am a copy of him for sure.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
You guys harmonized together. I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine. Can you imagine singing with your dad?
No. If I made any sort of high pitched noise like that, he would give me a look, and then if I did it again, I'm getting the slipper.
Yeah,
The
my
slipper?
dad,
The
my dad
slipper.
would be like, he'd just be like ripping the walls open. Like, I'm
beats you
close to
with a
finding the
slipper?
bug.
Wait, your dad beat you with a slipper?
Beat's a strong word. He would hit me with a slipper.
I think there was a brief period in time, like maybe twice, where we got a belt, and then it came out that you shouldn't hit kids with belts or something, and then they did.
This just in. Hitting
Yeah.
kids with belts.
My
I
dad
think
was like,
they
okay,
didn't mean to.
obviously different piece of clothing. than-
A slipper.
yeah, slipper.
Well, I feel like my dad. I have like two dads. I have like the dad to the outside world who's like chill and quiet, and then I have like my dad at home who's like just so weird and chaos, and you can't have like a serious conversation. You can, but you can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I
I
feel
feel
like
like
I
a
have
lot
two
of
dads.
people don't have like serious conversations.
Dads aren't there
with
for
dads.
serious
Yeah.
conversations.
Someone said this the other day. Pat Bolduck did. It was a great point. He said the dad is just the security guard of the house.
Yeah.
Like, it really
Yeah.
is just when he comes home and you're more like at attention.
Yeah.
But he's not. You don't talk to the security guard.
No, only if there's like an emergency.
Yeah,
or-
that's true. Like, hey, can you go get mom?
Uh-huh.
You know, like that's the only time. It's just stand at it's like, oh fuck, he's here.
Yeah.
I think that they would use, like, because my dad has a very stoic face. So whenever there was issues with, like, the administration at school or, like, somebody wasn't treating the kids the way they deserved, they would bring in my dad as a backup. And so my mom would do the talking and my dad would just, like...
Damn.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into dyslexia school.
Really?
Your dad mead mugged your
He
way.
mean bugged the administration. And then I got checked out for 5 hours every day to go to dyslexia school.
How was that?
I don't think I realized how much it sucked in the moment because they would feed me goldfish on the way there every day.
Hell
So I was like,
yes.
oh, I'm getting goldfish.
Yeah.
And then I get
Flavor-
there.
I've done a lot for
blasted?
goldfish.
And then they gave me a Super Mario game too. So then in between class I would play Super Mario.
Immobilized. Yeah.
I had no idea the trauma I was enduring.
Yeah, you were being drugged on the way over there.
And
with
yeah.
cheap cheddar and video games.
Do your dads don't have two different personalities?
Oh.
My dad has one personality, but he just doesn't show it. Like you said, like when he leaves the house, he's not. There's not a person. It's just like it's a British
It's just
robot.
I have to go to work.
Yeah, or like sit up. That's like what he'll say.
He tells you to sit up?
Yeah, he always tells me to sit up.
My dad's never told me to sit up.
Yeah, no, my dad's very big on like rules and looking proper. He's a British guy.
Oh,
So these
okay.
are the things that are important.
Is
to
your
him.
mom British?
No, my mom's from New England.
What does she sound like?
She kind of sounds like Linda from Bob's Burgers.
Can you do it?
Oh, God, what are you doing, Nick? Please stop. Please stop. Oh,
Just
he's telling jokes. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Oh man, it's just a festival of dumb accents.
I know, dude, and I come out sounding like the most boring person in the world. I learned how to talk from TV because I was like, if I talk like that anywhere, people are gonna beat the shit out of me. So I gotta fucking watch the news.
Yeah.
You didn't grow up with even a little bit of an accent?
No, nothing.
People
I really
love,
wish I
people
did.
love them. People love them.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime there's a new kid at school and they had an accent, that was a big deal.
That's why my dad got away with being an asshole for forever, is because they're like, hey, he talks kind of cool.
People are fascinated by people from the UK.
Yeah.
That's where he's from, right?
Yeah. Like, he would yell at my soccer games all the time, and they'd be all like, Charlie. And
It
be
does.
like, you fucking wankers! No, wankers! And I'm like, he's saying
But see,
fuck.
it's just fun. Even you impersonating it sounds funny. American accent, probably dark. If you took everything your dad said to you and put in like a southern accent, it sounds so much darker.
Yeah.
That's so true. I had like a ballet teacher that was British, and she would say the weirdest stuff about your body, but she'd say it in an accent, and you're like, thank you.
Yeah, that's fun.
You don't have two different dads?
Well, one could argue medically I do. My dad is psychotic. My dad is like schizophrenia or schizoaffective. So I never really, he wasn't great at hiding it if he was in a bad place. I feel like he was the same guy wherever he was.
Yeah.
Because my dad flipped out on my third grade teacher.
Really?
Once. Yeah, he was just like, I remember it was like a parent-teacher conference. She was like complaining how I'm not bad at math.
She had no idea.
And then my dad was like, all you want to do is talk about the negative shit. You haven't said one nice thing. Like, and I feel like it's a power move where I'm like, fuck you, Miss Kim.
Yeah.
Dad's like, I don't have to do shit. Like, it was almost like, yeah, you get him. Like, henchman. And, but no, yeah, as he got worse, it was definitely like, if you were around him enough, you met the same guy I did.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people were. He was aloof. He would just be like, at a temp job, or he'd be out of town for undisclosed period of time, or he would just show up randomly, and you're like, all right.
My dad can make conversation with anybody in a way I've always admired. Like, just anybody. He could just start.
He's
he's one of those guys.
Like, he's one of those like talkers. Like he's giving it to the waiter, even though
Well, it's like a rehearsal. Like, he knows how to do. It's like he's done that his whole
Is he
life.
like a sales guy? What does he do?
No, he works in like a management. He works at like in hospice care, like managing like different hospice. He doesn't work in sales. He
Okay.
just has. I feel like he's just like grown up in the small town, and you talk to everybody, and he's just taken that. And I've never understood it. I've never been someone who I don't talk to people at the grocery store.
No.
Or like I avoid people if I see them in public. Not because I don't want to see them. It's like I don't want to talk to them, and he like thrives in that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I just don't want to talk to people anymore. I used to be so outgoing, and then it just made me so tired.
Yeah, my problem is I love to start stuff, but it's the ending. I don't know how to handle it. Like I'm always
you don't know how to close.
I don't know how to close.
Yeah.
I'm a great beginner. Like, hey, how are you? How's it going?
I always go, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Like every time I'm at the lodge, I'm talking to somebody and I don't want to talk to them anymore. I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and then I'll just stand in the bathroom, and then and it's like I have to stop doing this.
Yeah.
Like I can't keep.
Yeah, that's
running.
a crutch. It's a crutch.
That is a classic get out of jail free card.
You gotta
I
just
have used
be-
that as well when I don't want to talk. So I do the classic go to the bathroom.
Bathroom.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
else do you end it? Like, oh, see you around. I guess
See you
that's-
around.
I'm
Sounds a
done.
decent-
I'm
yeah.
done talking to you. That's what I'm gonna start doing.
But it's
now.
like
I'm
we're
just
gonna.
being really blunt and honest. Just I'm done
I
talking.
just see someone in the corner and I'm like, I gotta talk to them about some. Go out.
But that's like if you're in like a party bar kind of situation.
Yeah, because you're gonna circle back.
You're
like,
saying one-on-one?
I'm
How do you
saying
get
like
out?
at the grocery store. The prime example. I was
Okay.
at the grocery store, and Derek Strong was working there.
Sure.
And he's a comedian or ex-comedian, whatever. But he was
Yeah.
working there, and I was like, "Oh, fucking Derek! I hadn't seen him in so long." So I was like, "Oh, what's going on, Derek?" And he's like, "Yeah, working at Jewel Osco. I fucking love it, man." And then he kept talking to me about working at Jewel Osco for about 5 to 8 minutes, and at that point I was like, "I can't. I could go to the bathroom. I could just start walking
I have
away."
faked a phone call a few
You
times.
faked a
in my-
phone call for real?
So what you do? I did it when I was younger. I did it in high school. But what I would do is I would kind of like be slightly playing on my phone, just play the ringer, and then just kind of walk away.
You're Better Call Saul, dude.
Like,
Better Call Saul.
like what phone call is so important that you have to take in high school?
Yeah. Well,
Excuse
some
me.
drugs, so there's- So-
Something drug related.
Yeah. So you just like walk away and kind of
Hey,
just
what's up,
pretend-
man? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'd always pretend that it was like my mom, and even though she's deaf, so it's a terrible lie. And my mom has finally been cured, so I gotta go home.
gotta go talk to
She
her.
just called me. I've heard her voice for the first
Yeah.
time. We gotta go check this out. So yeah, and then I just do, Just say something came up and you got to go. That's like an extreme. That's when I was talking to someone I really
and I don't mind. I like talking to Derek Strong, but it was like one of those things where it's like I'm
It just
stuck
has
at the
gone on
grocery
for so
store.
long.
Yeah,
I think part of it is like I do have like a social awkwardness that doesn't come across because I'm outgoing, but it's a lot for me to like always talk to people. It's just like sometimes I'll go out and I won't talk to anybody. I'll kind of just sit in the back of the room, and then I'll get messages from people that's like, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? And like, you know what I mean?
At least you're getting those. Sometimes I just sit there and nobody's messaging me.
No
Hey,
one's
what's
worried.
going on? They're just like, Jesus. Look at that. No, I especially in comedy too, because it's constant, and then you don't know. Sometimes people are so they do like weird like joke small talk where they're like doing their bits that they're gonna do with the mic later.
That's the worst.
That is the worst.
I'm like, I just want to give people the light when they do that. I'm like, I don't know. Don't you?
You already ran this.
Yeah.
Like we're at talking about weather level of friendship. Like let's just do that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to
It's
run.
cold outside. That's
We
Yeah.
can do that.
That's
That's
a
fine.
decent opener.
Don't run your bits by me.
Don't you, goddamn.
Or when
yeah.
people are always on all the time and you're like, I don't have time to be on right now. I'm on my off switch.
Yeah. It's not 11 p.m. after the show. It's like 5 p.m. I just got
Right.
off work. I'm going to a mic.
But see, I work from home, so a lot of the time,
That's
that's the first
awesome.
time I talk to a lot of
Do you
people.
feel like you're
It's been
more-
me and the cat.
I think you're more invigorated when you get to go out when you work from
That's
home.
when my day be. This is the first time I've showered. Was like an hour. I haven't left my house in 8 hours. I've been sitting in a room, hanging out with a cat and spreadsheets, and now I'm like, oh, humans.
Yeah, that's
like,
that was pretty nice when I was working
That
at home
sounds
and then you
nice.
leave.
Oh,
yeah.
it's the
That's the
best.
dream.
Yeah, offices should be abolished. I think they're cruel and unusual and unnecessary.
I know. It's going to be that hard to find a remote job.
The problem is everybody wants one.
I know.
Because it's clearly better.
It's a better way to live. I don't understand why, if it couldn't be remote, why it shouldn't be. Like, it just doesn't make sense. to me.
Yeah, especially at this point for sure.
Do you
I
work
don't-
remote? You don't work remote.
No, I'm a casino dealer.
Where is
So-
that? Would you work at it? Where?
It's like a casino party dealer, so I do like parties and shit. I deal
During the
blackjack and craps. No, at night too. But during the day, I work in the warehouse. I'm like fixing tables and stuff. And I refelted a roulette table today. Real man stuff. I use a staple gun.
Oh, you said real man stuff,
Dude,
and then I used a staple gun.
I texted Kelly today because I was using a handsaw, and I was like, I feel like I could get somebody pregnant right now.
You texted your fiance
I
after
don't
doing
like
a basic
handsaw.
task, and you're
Don't
like,
like that.
I, feel
I
like
want to
could-
see you do it. I want a basic task. I want to see you
I
use
used
a
to
handsaw.
I used to
wanna
drive a forklift, motherfucker. You know?
I want to see you use a handsaw. That's true. You're Forklift certified.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
should-
Don't
I
you-
forgot
don't
about
you take that away from
That's
me.
a good card to play. That's a
What's
good
so
card to
great
play.
about driving a forklift?
He was just trying to
They
say that I
seem
wasn't a man,
complicated.
and
No.
I said I used to drive a forklift.
I'm picturing just a utensil. Like, I'm picturing a fork. I don't.
Yeah.
This means
You don't know what a
nothing to me.
forklift is?
Well, okay. I'm picturing.
You're
It's
right.
got-
What you just did was right.
It's like a
it's got
little,
claws.
Yeah, it
Uh-huh.
lifts stuff up.
And that's manly to you?
It's better than nothing. It's probably the closest thing I've come to any sort of manly behavior is
What is-
driving a giant truck that picks shitloads of boxes up. Yeah. That's all I got.
Man,
Yeah.
man lift. That's what man
That's
do. Man
what's-
lift.
This is the closest thing. Because Nick knows me too well. He knows I got nothing else on this side.
No, forklift certified is his. That
That's
was
it.
a
You gotta
huge
be
card.
certified? That's cool.
It is
Yeah.
sort of
It's like
Yeah.
a lifeguard.
Huh?
It's like a lifeguard.
I guess. Yeah. Well, you could easily kill somebody at one of those things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah. Or yourself. More likely yourself.
More likely myself.
Yourself? How?
If you like take something that's too heavy and you like topple over, because you're driving a little like Wall-E thing, you know.
You gotta
So-
be careful on those.
Yeah.
I mean, now
I would
we're
love
done.
to see you on now. One on now. Like,
Oh, it'd be tough.
You'd like rub it like an old horse. Like, oh, we used to do miles and miles on these babies. And you like whip one of these.
I was objectively kind of bad. I mean, I crashed
I-
it.
of course
I
you
did. Drove it drunk at one point. I had mimosas in
Naturally.
the break room, and I was on. I would argue better at the forklift, a little buzzed, but still. Yeah. So that's the closest thing.
So Olivia, did you ever get like in trouble with your dad or your parents at all when you were a kid? Were
Yes.
you like
Well, I don't know what
you're wearing
happened.
a beanie, so I feel like you're a little
Yeah, I
troublemaker.
really am not like a bad kid. I was never cool. I was never doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
I like smoked weed and like.
That's pretty cool.
But the second time I smoked weed, I got in trouble for smoking weed.
Oh, that sucks.
So like the punishment was that of a hard stoner and like one of badass variety. And I had just smoked it twice, but I internalized that as I am the biggest stoner in this school.
Yeah.
1000%. Yeah.
I'm getting drug tested every week. I got in trouble for that. I remember
You started getting drug tested every week after smoking weed.
They didn't know that I smoked it only twice.
Why didn't you tell them?
I think I did, and they didn't believe me.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, that's kind of the classic, like, it was my first time.
Yeah. I didn't even really get high. Yeah. Well, I remember.
That's really well, I guess,
Doesn't that
responsible
kind of
parents.
suck?
But that's
though?
like, you didn't even get to have fun.
I was like,
you gotta have your career.
I know. I hadn't lived.
You gotta do the
They took
gravity
me out of the
bong
game.
and your
I just did. I think I did a bong, and then I did like a joint, and then my career was over. I did some vaping, and they ruined that for me. Well, I was working at Dairy Queen at the time.
Oh, you didn't even get to go get high and eat Dairy Queen?
No.
There was a period in high school where I got high every day and ate CC's pizza.
Yeah.
I gained about 11 pounds.
Dairy Queen was like.
It's fantastic.
I love how all the people who were working there were like, oh, jeez, here he comes.
It was me and this other guy, and our entire friendship consisted of we'd get stoned together in the parking lot.
I love the stone friends. It's like you have nothing in common.
We had,
like, you can't talk to each other if you're not getting stoned. Because in high school, there's so few people that you'd want to could get smoke weed with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there weren't people that I knew who could get it or people that would want to do it. So the random stoner friend.
Yeah, it was so. It
was whoever wanted to do what drugs were friends.
Yes,
that was my. But see, I lived in such a boring small town that was the only. I wasn't good at sports. I wasn't smart enough for academics, so that was like kind of the only friend making that was
the drug
occurring.
group. Yeah.
You're like, well, you're getting outside, sit in a circle, talking,
But you came all the way. You learned how to drive a forklift. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have seen that was going to be your
We didn't know that was coming.
Like, I wasn't good at sports. I wasn't good at school.
Yeah.
But you're like, man. But who could have called the forklift? That was such a come
Besides everybody, I guess.
You weren't in any sort of group activity in high school?
Besides drugs, no. Well, my friend started a secular club. And I went in there and I argued about Israel and Palestine.
Yeah, hell yeah. Just held court for one day.
We did. I kind of went in there and had a lot of contrarian opinions. It was like, everyone's an idiot except me.
I love that. Dude. Just going in for one day being like, fuck you.
We actually did, because we would say on the loudspeaker, secular club was having, and I did drugs with almost everyone in secular club. And we had a discussion about the war on drugs where essentially 5 17-year-olds argued against a teacher. Which is, the war on drugs has been a failure, but I think our motivation was not the most sincere reasons.
Yeah.
You
were just like, it's bullshit. And he's like, well, okay, there are some other. Like, no, you're a Nazi.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Pretty much. Stepping on my vibe, man. And so there was a lot of, no, I didn't do any, well, yeah, I had a dysfunctional upbringing. I hated, most of the kids it was like a majority white town of like preppy, kind of douchey kids. And I just, I felt really different. I didn't fit in with them.
Yeah.
So.
Did you do any group stuff?
I did a lot of group stuff.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. I was in like the broadcast team. I did like theater and dance. I did like.
It's too cynical for theater.
Too?
I was a theater kid.
Damn.
Yeah, I wasn't. I did like musicals, but then I was more like I liked like drama, and then so real nerdy. And I think I was in some other club. I don't remember what. I tried to run for student council, and I kept losing. Like I kept losing, but I kept running. So I feel like that was a club that I was.
You were like the Ralph Nader of student council.
Yeah, I kept thinking if I did it, eventually they'd vote for me.
I could not. I did not have the. I couldn't imagine in high school if I went out for student council and lost. I couldn't go to school.
It's not even like
I couldn't take that loss. I was not emotionally capable to do that.
See, I was fine taking L's.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was a part of it.
All right, yeah.
And it's not like I ran. It's like I ran for president every year. Like I didn't take like a smaller position.
Oh, okay.
Like I
you were
kept
like,
going
no,
for
we're
number
going for the
one.
touchdown.
Yeah, and I remember one time like, so you have to do your speech in front of the school on like the broadcast team, and they tell you like on, and then you talk, and I didn't know they pointed on, so I was smiling like this. And then apparently I went, oh. And then started talking, and everyone laughed. And I'm like, that's the most embarrassing. That's so embarrassing.
That's pretty bad.
The person who told me that shouldn't have told me that. Nathan did not need to tell me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not a time where it was all recorded, so you could have just lived your life without that horrible, embarrassing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The whole school saw that too? That was broadcast throughout the whole thing?
The whole thing, yeah.
Just gave the old...
Yeah.
And we're here.
Yeah, that's so embarrassing when you're like insecure.
That'll destroy you.
That'll destroy
Yeah.
you.
I had my mom worked at the elementary school that I went to, and she once made an announcement to the whole school that she couldn't get through. She started laughing
That
at
she couldn't get through?
one of the there was like 2 teachers in the office that were like making like inappropriate jokes or whatever while she was in there. So she started laughing and laughing on the loudspeaker to the whole school. And kids started looking at me like, is your mom having a heart attack? And I like I was like crying, and I ran to the office. I was like, Mom, are you okay? And she was like, what the fuck? Yes. What are you talking about? I was like, well, okay, don't fucking advertise to the whole school that you can't do your job.
You're just having
She's
too
just
much
having a good
joy.
fun.
I know.
She's having a great
I know.
time.
I shouldn't be mad at my mom.
Yeah,
for
you just
that.
berated your loving
It
mother
was
Yeah.
so
for laughing
embarrassing,
on the,
though. It was so embarrassing.
to
Kids
have
with
your mom
mom.
laugh.
What?
To have your mom laugh.
Kids
Well,
with
it was
moms
like-
that taught at their school have a weird trauma.
Yeah. You won't understand.
My
I
parents'
don't.
school were 14 miles away. They weren't even sure I was in school. I'm pretty sure because you couldn't. Again, dad's in and out, mom's deaf, so they couldn't. I didn't update the home phone number for my parents since elementary school.
Wow.
They had nothing on me.
Yeah.
They didn't carrier pigeon was the only way to reach the old Kenyan.
That
Did
was
you
like-
ditch school a lot?
Yeah, in high school, I treated it sort of like I was in college, but had given up because I had already. The writing was on the wall that the only sort of schooling was community college if I was going to go. So you could get up to 10 unexcused absences in every class before they start making a big deal about it. So I
Okay.
did that in every class. So I would just be like, oh, I'm not doing first today. I'm not doing second. So yeah.
So
Skipped on.
you're smart enough to schedule out 10 absences for different classes at
Yeah.
different times, but okay, all right.
Yeah. I wasn't.
You're Better Call Saul.
I wasn't
I've been watching that
particularly
show. I've been watching Better Call Saul, and with every episode, I was like, did Kenyon like adopt this into his whole thing? I have to go get my phone because of what you texted me. I didn't reply because I wanted to talk about it on the podcast, and I'm glad you're here to witness this. He Better Call Saul's me all the time. Here, hold on.
I never watched Better
No,
Call
don't
Saul.
you fucking. All right.
Yes.
All right.
It's
It's a
madness.
private
It's
conversation.
madness. Okay.
No, this is.
I'm gonna put a
I know the text you're talking about. It's also a great idea, so I'm glad you're bringing it here.
Okay, this is what Kenyon text. Text from Kenyon. He doesn't even hide it. He goes, found a scheme that's better than Via, which is we'll need context for that, but that's for later.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
He texted me this checking account thing, right? That I should make a checking account and put $10 in, and then he gets 50 and I get 25, and
a
then
great idea.
if you get 10 people to sign up, you can make $1,000 easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
I've been saying that to other people. Do you understand?
How
There's
many
no cap on that. There's no cap. That's an easy $2,000 on the table. No, I'm not an idiot. You're an idiot for not doing it.
No.
You put $10 in and you get $25. Get your fiance. You can't pay for this wedding by yourself.
Do you have to be
Nick.
connected to all 10 people?
Huh?
Do you have to be connected to all 10 people?
Like
or does
personally,
he,
or
like,
what?
does he pass
It's
it
a
on
way to
and-
to get people to open checking accounts.
So it's a new online bank. I've already made $250 off these. So what? Let me slow down.
I just wanted to
I need to
wind you
explain.
up, dude. I just wanted
I
to
need to
wind you up
explain my process.
because I need you to see that you're Better Call Saul.
Okay, let me explain my process. Number one, there's multiple banks that offer new rewards when you join them. Like, you open a checking account, deposit somewhat amount of money, and you get like $250. Now, it's not illegal to just move bank accounts all the time. So every month I just put my direct deposit in another bank, get another $250, and I got fun rewards like that. So if you put $10 in, I get 50, you get 25. Convince 10 of your friends. This is free money, Nick.
But
why?
because
the
I don't.
only reason
why do I
people
want
don't-
another bank account?
Why? Who
I-
cares? You don't have to put your direct deposit in. I'm talking you put $10 in there, and that's it.
I'm so glad because I will put an episode of Better Call Saul with you talking like that, and it's going to be Saul over it. And people are going to be like, "This is the show."
Dignity only holds you back. The only reason people don't do that is
You're
'cause
right.
they're like,
Dignity is holding me back.
I
That's
think
what
it
it
is.
That's what it is.
I think it is. The only reason people don't do that is like, oh, I don't want to annoy my friend. But once you get over that, once that inner shame dies, that's where he brought up Via. Via was a ride-sharing app where you put
I
in
did
a
like
promo
Via.
code.
Yes.
You give it to a friend. They get $20 with the free rides. I get $20 with the free rides. I signed up so many people. I had more money in free Via rides than I had in my bank account. I had $700 of Via. I was getting rides for the crew. I was sending first dates home. I was exclusively
Go home. Take care of yourself.
Yeah. You're making
Get
bad
outta
choices being with me. I'm living on
No,
Via.
he was Mr. Monopoly with rides. I remember he'd be like, "You want to go to the comedy bar? I'll get us a Via right now to go to the comedy bar."
100%. I always get back.
I never heard of that ride share app.
Yeah, so that is because it most likely crashed
just
due to
you.
that referral code,
And
they stopped.
Yeah, the cars were like always a little. It'd be like a Honda Civic with 2 wheels missing and shit. Like it'd be a little sketchy.
I think the cars were fine. I just
think
they,
it was Uber and Lyft didn't like that. They probably Via started like getting business.
Yeah.
And so they just took it. Those Uber and Lyft like own cities, so they like
Yeah, they
probably
just fucked
86
them up.
did.
Plus, I think the referral. I think no one ever paid for a ride ever.
Yeah,
I think there were 6 people pulling my scheme, and we
That's
just
true.
bankrupted Via.
How close are you to getting $1,000 for 10 friends?
Huh?
How close are you to getting to the $1,000?
I've had 4 people sign up already, so when that kicks in, I mean that's $200 right there. That's nothing. That's
what do you
all
mean that's $200 for who?
for me? Because that's 50. The 4 people signing up.
No. Okay. So you're 6 people away from getting the grand
Do
prize.
you think
of
you're gonna
$1,000.
get 10 people to sign up? Do you have 10 people who you think would?
Yeah,
do it?
I got a crew.
Yeah, I'm on some sort of mailing list.
No,
apparently.
yeah, because you don't have. I know who you are. Let's not. You introduced me to a way to illegally gamble Bitcoin on some sketchy Eastern European website. Let's not pretend you're better than the checking account.
No, I'm not. But that
Yeah.
is fun.
Yes, and
Yeah.
so is this. And this is guaranteed. I've got a Capital One card. You send the referral code for that. You get $100 off the card. I've ran it up.
Stop doing the ads. I can't
I
take
ran it
it.
up $500. Gotten it back up again.
We're-
How am I the psycho here?
You're not.
Just
But
winning.
just know that if I open a checking account, it's not for me. It's for you. I just want you to know that. Don't be like, "Oh, I did you a favor," but I don't want a checking account.
Why wouldn't you?
Because I don't. Why would I want 2 checking accounts?
Well, SoFi is a great.
Just so I can
app.
have less money and
you
2
could-
checking
you could
accounts?
First off, you could process your credit at the same time. All your spending goes in categories.
I
can
hate-
apply for a
I'm
loan.
such
How
a
many
bad
credit
arguer.
cards do you have?
Huh?
How many credit cards do you have?
That's irrelevant. Let's not focus on the credit card argument. I got 3.
You got 3.
Yeah, I got
That's not
3.
bad.
How many do you have?
2. I just got my second one. I'm pretty pumped about it.
Should I get a second one?
I wanted one with an airline because I wanted to get
Yeah.
miles.
That sounds smart.
Southwest is
Yeah.
the one.
You sound so
Southwest?
adult too when you're like, I'm getting miles.
I want to get miles.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I wanna ride.
Priceline Gold member, baby.
Have you guys ever, for the first time in my life, I boarded first?
You what?
You did first class. I've never rode in first
I didn't
class.
ride first class,
Oh, I've never done it.
but I boarded first. Like
Oh,
I
you
was
boarded first.
Well, I wasn't like first. They have kids and they have disabilities and they have like a
Yeah,
military,
yeah.
and then I boarded
Nice.
after all those people.
Yeah.
and it was kind of nice to board first.
It does feel good.
It feels good.
But I like doing the move where I wait till like the last minute. Like I sit in the gate for a really long time.
I love being at an airport. I'll get there an hour and a half early and walk around.
Really?
It's fun to see people
depends
at their
which
lowest.
airport.
Which airport?
I 100% agree. I think
people are at their
airports
lowest.
fun. And yeah, people act like they're in a refugee camp.
Yeah.
It's-
they're like
it's
lying
ridiculous.
in a backpack. They look depressed. It's like, okay, you're about to defy God.
We're in a
and be
public
the
space,
air.
yeah.
People are just like, they kick the shoes off. They're like passed out on the backpack.
Everyone looks so upset. I'm like,
Yeah.
why are you? What are we? We're at an airport. You know what this is.
You have enough disposable income.
There's
that you're gonna
food, there's
fly in the
water,
air.
there's free, there's drinking fountains. Every
this is
quadrant,
fine.
there's another bathroom. You can go to 12 bathrooms if you want right now.
That gets you pretty pumped up.
I just love an airport.
just
I,
love
I agree. I'll hang in an airport.
I will get there
I used
early.
to like drinking in airports. That
It's
was my
fun.
favorite
Oh,
place to
yeah.
I
drink.
like kind of. I'm like if a dream of mine would kind of be to work there a little bit.
It's
You
I think
definitely
it's
could.
I think it's cool because it's like every door is like I view it
Every
as like
door
a
is
portal to another place on Earth.
Yeah. Have you
Cool.
ever run into somebody you know at an airport?
I have a couple.
Isn't it kind of sick?
We're like, what? We're just jet setters. You
Yeah,
meet, well,
or
doing
at-
comedy, you meet. You're like, oh, there's another comedian.
Or
You
like
have to-
not at your airport. You're at like a random airport in Atlanta, and you're like, "There's my Uncle Rick. What's up, Uncle
That's
Rick?"
never happened to me. That's crazy. Has
It's
that happened? to you?
Yeah, it's a really like you do feel like
That
you're in a
is
portal.
cool as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, we're fucking killing it.
Yeah.
We're like a
Oh.
George Clooney movie right now.
But
Yeah.
my dad did instill this thing into me. This is the only thing he's ever really been strict about is about
Okay.
airports because he did travel a lot.
Dads in airports do not get along.
They're like, have your shoes off, have your bag, put it on thing, don't slow down the line. And like I am at the back of the line. I have my shoes off and my jacket. And I'm ready to go.
They don't even make you do that much anymore.
I'm ready, and
Yeah,
most of
yeah.
the time I'm like, fuck, I didn't take my shoes off. But I don't know what it is. It's like I don't want to be the person that pisses off my dad.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
Well,
that's
my
fair.
dad's thing was always like he doesn't want you to look like an amateur traveler.
Yeah, you
He's
gotta look like
very
you know what's up.
prideful about like I'm a proper traveler. I know how to travel.
But that doesn't take skill
No,
to
dumb
take
people fly
orders
all
from
the
other
time.
people.
He's a sick
Yeah.
man.
That's like it's actually the easiest thing to do is obey. That
Well,
doesn't mean anything.
I used to get nervous traveling, but I was like, stupid people get places all the time. Like, you can figure out where you need to get in this terminal, and you can. And you just gotta,
There's
if you're
signs.
lost, just keep walking and you'll figure it out. Like,
Yeah. You know that's a great quote.
keep walking and you'll figure it out.
Just keep walking and you'll figure it
Well,
out.
like when
I
you
really
moved
need
to-
a lot of self-help quotes.
Well, you know, like when you first move to an area and you don't like quite know where you're going,
Yeah.
like that, and that how much that sucks to like obviously have your maps out. And
It
be
is
like,
when you just that still happens to me all the
it
time.
happens all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like just pretend that you're going this way.
I think that's better because I like even homeless people all the time be like, "Where you going, buddy?" Because I'm just like back and forth, like looking at a phone, be like, "Fuck, where am I?" Yeah,
It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's like being at the airport with your shoes on and they gotta be off.
yeah.
I hate when like you're on the bus, and I still do this where I'm like looking at my phone to be like, okay,
stop.
it's 4 stops from
four
now,
stops.
so that means it's gonna stop like 3 times, and then I need to pull on it. And there's people that are like blackout drunk, just like,
And then they're like,
yeah,
Yeah, there's a certain like zen, like they're
Yeah.
connected to the bus like an avatar. Like
Yeah.
they just
Yeah.
tapped in and they
They're
feel
one
the
with the
bus.
public
they're like,
bus.
home,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
home.
yeah.
It is cool though when you do figure out your route and you're like, yeah, I don't need my maps. I don't need my phone.
I see that one corner of the building and I know
and
I'm
I know
fucking
I'm there, and
yeah.
I pull the. I used to be so scared to pull the lever when I first moved here.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
was like,
wanna-
I don't want to make a scene.
Yeah,
is-
exactly.
That's so Midwest. Well, that'd be rude for
Yeah,
me to
that'd be rude for
self-advocate
me
in
to
any
do
way
this.
whatsoever. Yeah.
Yeah, I've really had to become a normal person moving here.
Well, in public transit, I'm like lowest profile as possible.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a stone cold bitch when I'm on the bus.
Mean mugging.
I've taken a
Mean
couple
mugging.
phone calls on a pod. That's
You
probably
take
the worst.
phone calls?
I don't give a fuck.
You're a public phone call person?
I really,
sucks.
I don't care.
That
I've
sucks.
never been. Well, you're that confident being yourself in front of everyone.
Imagine
I
imagine being on a bus and hearing Kenyon being like, "Listen, it's just one account. It's 3% APR. I get $25. You get $50. You'd be like, oh boy.
It's better than Via.
Oh my god.
Mima.
You are
Open
the
type
phone
in
guy.
SoFi in your phone. It's just I'm busy. I got a lot of things. So if I really need to talk to somebody, I'll answer the phone. Not like crowd a bus, but like I don't have.
I'll
How
answer
many
and I'll
fucking
go,
hours are in there in
I'm
a
on a
day?
train right now.
Huh?
I'm on a train right now. I'll call you back. I usually run
That's
that.
what and I'm really quiet. I'm like, hey, I'm on a train.
Yeah,
If-
I'm out of time. People will be like, "Did somebody kidnap you?" I'm like, I'm on a train. I'm on a train.
It really is like this small little pussy little. I really can't talk right now because people can hear my voice and that makes me want to kill myself. So I'll call you back later.
No, I'll tell. So a lady yelled at me once in the airport for taking a call.
That's awesome. What'd you say?
I love her so much, dude. She's my hero.
Everyone at the bar was on my side.
Really?
Everyone at the airport bar, I was just having a conversation because I couldn't have one for
Speakerphone?
4 hours. No,
Okay,
not an animal.
okay,
I have my
okay.
headphones.
Okay,
in.
oh,
I was in
alright.
the corner
Alright.
also, and she kept making weird faces at me, and I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You're loud on the phone," and I went, "Well, I could do whatever I want. It's a bar. You can't control. You're not my mom. This is a public space.
Yeah.
I just paid to be here. I just purchased a $12 beer. I could sit in the corner and yell on the fucking phone. if I want. So and then listen, everyone later.
People got into
They
it?
were kind of agreeing because then she walked away and I was like, "What the fuck up with that lady?" And the bartender was like, "You're just doing what you need to do, man." Like, and I was like, "You're
Everyone's
goddamn right."
scared. Everyone's frightened.
I feel like you are. I feel like you're someone who perpetually, like, always has a phone call. Like, have to make. Like, you always have something you gotta say, like, to somebody. Like, I've never had to take a phone call ever.
Oh, I have to take a phone call after this podcast. Actually, I have like 4 people that I got. Busy man. We got a lot of things
Yeah,
going.
there's
A lot of schemes going.
Yeah, there's a lot of money moving. So
There's a lot of processes. Flipping sneakers. We're doing.
I'll open a fucking checking account. God damn it.
Hey, dude. And then while you're at it, sign up for the Patreon, everybody.
Yes,
Support
speaking
Fuck
of
You
schemes.
Dad. The ultimate scheme, getting a goddamn extra bonus episode a week.
And they're really hot because they're old episodes.
Which
They're
were hot.
Yeah.
Those were recorded beginning peak COVID.
I'm very
in
happy
a basement
that they're behind a paywall now.
100%. We were taking some big swings, risks. I was telling early stories, crazy dad stories from my childhood. It was good stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So check that out. And where can people find you, Olivia?
On social media at OG Carter.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you perform here at the Lincoln Lodge, right?
Oh yeah, I perform here every Saturday.
Come to the Lincoln Lodge.
Absolutely.
Every goddamn night of the week. Great comedy. Fantastic. Best place in Chicago and the world. Thanks for listening.
In the world, goddamn right.
Hey guys, you just listened to another episode of Fuck You Dad. If you could follow us on our Instagram, which is FCKYOUDAD podcast. That's the important one. We also have a Twitter account, which is FCKYOUDADPODCA1. If you could follow that. Also, please submit any father stories that you have that you'd like us to make fun of, laugh at, or share. Shoot that to our Instagram DMs. And if you could please go ahead and rate the podcast, share the podcast with your friends and family that might enjoy it. And keep listening. Thank you so much.